Salutations everybody, it is Maddie here today. Now look, I know Cyberpunk 2077 is a fantastic game. I really like it, but as I played it through 50 plus hours and then some, ladies and gentlemen, there are some things that can improve. Now, I think CD Projekt Red really needs to take this video seriously, so I feel like wearing a Juness t-shirt is really not going to do the trick, so pardon me, because I feel like I need to get into better attire. All right, there we go. Okay, so now that CD Projekt Red's going to take me seriously and we're all dressed for the holidays here, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about 6 things, kind of 7, that can improve with Cyberpunk 2077, whether these are through patches or, of course, future DLC. I think there is some room for CD Projekt Red to do a couple things better with this game. A lot of it goes down to organization, some player choice things, but some of them are major mechanics that can't just be reworked through a patch, which is why I mentioned like future expansions. So with that, let's get it started with number 1. Map marker mayhem. Holy smokes. Okay, first time you fire up this game, right? You enter the open world, you bring up your map, you're gonna fall out of your chair in astonishment. There are so many icons, it's very overwhelming, but more importantly, it's so disorganized. This map needs some type of filter, okay? Like a little switch you can flip. Okay, side objectives, main objectives, fast travel points, all that good stuff, because right now you open it up and I know what they're trying to go for, which is like, oh my god, the content here. It's content overkill. This game is big. It provides that feeling. Don't get me wrong, it's astonishing at first, but as you start to look for little stores and little missions that you want to do, maybe little crops of camps of enemies that you just want to fight, it is a pain to find them. And so this map just needs better organization. It has a legend. It has a lot of icons there that are different, so when you find it, it's easy to identify. But it's just really at the end of the day that there is zero organization here, in the sense that you cannot just filter certain things out to clear out some of that map. As you zoom in and out, it will change a little bit. It will filter a little bit, but there needs to be more here, okay? Because it's a lot. Number 2, fast traveling. When they made a world this big and this dense, I'm very shocked that this was a creative decision. Now, I doubt there is, but if there's like some perk in there that does unlock fast travel, I could not find it. Okay, so the way you fast travel in Cyberpunk 2077 is you go ahead, you find a little blue marker on your map, you mark it, you drive to it, there is a fast travel station there, and from there you can use that to fast travel to different points on the map. So you can't just bring open your map and then say, I'm going all the way over here, boom, done. I don't know why they went with this, because sometimes when fast travel isn't allowed in a game, it's for like extra immersion. It's to keep you in the world a little bit longer. But in this game, I don't understand it. Like, these don't add anything to the game. So I would love if CD Projekt Red would allow us to fast travel to different points around the map through our map. I don't know if this is like a technological holdback here or something along those lines, but what I'm seeing here is a lot of time spent for me finding a fast travel point, maneuvering my way to it, then using the map, then finding that objective again, then fast traveling there. I like how they're unlocked, right? It's not very in your face. You just drive around. If you pass a fast travel point, boom, it's permanently unlocked. I love that. It's really just a matter of the convenience of it. That's what fast travel is all about, right? Convenience. If this was something along the lines of like a survival difficulty or, I don't know, an authentic mode, I don't know what you want to call it, then it would make sense. But right now, there is no way to fast travel unless you go to one of those points. And there are a lot of them, but it's just that extra time that you spend away from what you want to be doing. Number 3, hiding your helmet as well as transmogrifying all of your equipment. So out of all companies, Ubisoft does this one really well, right? They let you take your equipment and change up the style of it, but you retain your stats. Now, Ubisoft isn't the only one who does it. A lot of companies do it, but guess who doesn't do it? Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, look at my character, okay? I know female V is awesome. You see the tattoos on her body. She is sick, but she could be sicker, right? Okay, so I would love it if I could take the styles of different helmets and body armor and pants and shoes, change that up, but retain my stats. Because what's happening is you have to choose between, you know, fashion souls, kind of like the Dark Souls games where you're choosing between your stats or how cool you look here. I would love it if I could just change what everything looks like while retaining stats. Because in an RPG, especially one like this, those stats really matter, because some of these equipment you have to mod in pieces of armor and stuff, and it would just be really nice if when you're putting all those augments in, you could at least make it look nice, because you'll put attachments on things and you're like, okay, it's permanently stuck there and it's ugly, but hey, the stats are nice. And I get it, you're playing in first person, but once you start playing the game, you start diving into it more, you see your character a lot just through the character menu, okay? And that's enough for me to warrant requesting this. I know it sounds ridiculous in a first-person game, but trust me, I really think this is something that will just go a little bit of ways, especially because you can actually look down and see your character's feet, their clothes. You can see their hands when they reach out. I feel like that type of stuff would be great. And the hide helmet option is just for really aesthetics, like when I want to screenshot my character, share it. I understand that's not high on the priority list, but I still think it would be something nice. Number 4, this one I went off on my review. I got to bring it up again. Okay, so we have The Witcher, which has had some really big DLCs like, say, Blood and Wine. That was huge, and it's one that I really want to get around to putting a lot of time into. But in something like that, I really hope that CD Projekt Red takes a look at some of the skill checks they had in the base game, and I understand the notion of game development. What they did across the board here, maintaining the level of quality, is extremely impressive. I love what CD Projekt Red brought to the table, but one place I think they did drop the ball a little bit is when they skill check your character. It's not awful, but it's just underwhelming at times, and of course that's because of, I think, the scope of the entire game. A lot of games that do choice and consequence and skill checks right are very much narrowed down, and I totally understand why, because they're having more permutations. So, with future expansions, I hope that CD Projekt Red takes a look at the skill checks that are involved in this game and try to think of ways to improve and evolve upon them, making them more meaningful. What I mean by this is when you're crawling through a mission, you get a call. Hey, your engineering is 11. Guess what? You can go ahead and unlock a skill check option here to tell someone in conversation, well, what if we rerouted this and we hacked through that? Wouldn't that work? I don't want that canceled out in an expansion. I want them to say, yeah, we could do that. That's great you brought that up, and validate the build I'm creating for my character. They did a wonderful job with gameplay, making sure that my character felt legit. Every type of mission really accommodated my character, but those extra options that they would present were just that. Presentation, flavor, and it added nothing, and if anything, it hurt my experience because they brought it up and were like, hey, you could do... No, you can't. And so I would just love for them in future expansions to consider these skill checks a little bit more. I'm not talking off the wall, hardcore webs of changes, nothing like that, because I understand they really did a lot here for a AAA RPG. Okay, I'm very understanding of the type of game that they have made, but I just think if you're going to present that and you're not going to do the best job at it, this is where I'm going to crank on you and tell you, here's how it could be better. So in the future, if you're going to present a skill check, it doesn't always have to matter, right? Sometimes it's just asking a question, but when it's presented in a way where you can make a change in the game, I would love for that to be accommodated. 5. Whoa, this one. Okay, this one is important. Bulk crafting. Once again, check the perks. I didn't see anything here, but when you craft items in this game, you can't just select, like, I want to make 40 of this. You just have to keep holding the craft button, keep holding the craft button, keep holding the craft button. I kept looking to see if I missed something, right? And I'm just putting it in your hands here in case I did, because that's how convinced I am that they could not have had this be an oversight. They could not have. There is no bulk crafting from what I can see in this game, and it drove me crazy. Because what happens is, I would gather a lot of parts of my character. I did get a perk that would automatically scrap junk I earned down, which of course freed up some inventory space, but it also gave me more components to craft with. So when I went into craft, yeah, I could skyrocket my crafting level, but I never felt like doing that because, quite honestly, it took forever to craft anything. Now, when you're making weapons and stuff, upgrading equipment, that's fine. That's easy, that's smooth. But when you're transferring, say, uncommon components to rare components, to epic components, to legendary, you're constantly just hold A, hold A, hold A. And you just do that for, like, in my case, I did it for like 5 minutes straight. So, not the end of the world here, but just adding a little meter, saying, you know, doing the math and saying, could I craft 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on of this item that I want to make, just saves a little more time. It's kind of like in the same vein of what I talked about with fast travel. Is it the end of the world? No, I don't really think any of these are the end of the world, but they're just little subtle improvements that I think would be great quality of life changes that perhaps they couldn't squeeze in, or that they were looking to do, but they just didn't have the time to. Just, I think this is something that would really help as well. 6, personal preference alert. Personal preference alert. Okay, so driving in CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 feels very loose. I described it in my review as fishtailing a lot. Like everywhere I was going, I was just fishtailing everywhere. Everywhere I went, yeah, no matter even if I bought a nice car, I stole a nice car, or I was in my own junky vehicle. Everywhere I went, my butt was going left and right. And so I just want it to be tightened up a little bit. I don't want this realistic, authentic driving experience. I get they were kind of going for arcadey, burning out into like the curbside and, popping out of your car and getting into a fight. They were trying to create something a little more epic. I understand what they were going for here. Don't get me wrong. But it's just that it feels very loose, and I'm constantly like fighting with the steering wheel here. Like I would kill to get a perspective of be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's trying to get control of the car. So right now, driving is not horrible. It's not bad by any means. It just feels very loose. There are some cars that are heavier, that are more grounded. Of course, that would make sense. But there is a distinct difference between these very loose, any type of car, and then the trucks, which are just planted there, glued to the ground. It's very strange, and I would like a little more fine-tuning on that front, if that's possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are 6 things I would like to see improve in Cyberpunk 2077. I tried to look for 10, because I think that's like a prettier number for YouTube and their algorithm. I don't think anyone's looking up, hey, 6? Yeah, 6. But that's a testament to how good the game is, in my opinion. Like, of course, there's things like bugs. That would be an easy number 7. But that's been talked about to death. I think it's important to highlight, but also there are patches already coming that they're addressing. These are mechanics and things in the game that I realize could be a lot better. So I think it's good the list is short. It's just not algorithm friendly. So it's really up to you all to circulate this video. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If I did not highlight something that you think needs to improve in this game, like I saw some people talking about a walking feature, I never really felt like that was a thing I needed. But if that is something you're looking for, then ladies and gentlemen, please do fire away in the comments down below. Hopefully someone from CD Projekt Red will tune into this video and they will, take me seriously, and they'll take you seriously as well, because I feel like we've sort of fostered a great community here who's very authentic, hardcore, just wants the games to be the best that they can be without being toxic about it. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you listening, CD Projekt Red. If you're watching this video, I thank you for listening as well, at the very least. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, pass it off to you. Fire away in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all of the patrons, all of the members who are pushing the limits of the content here. And with that, I'll talk to all of you soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.